We're going to move down to number 4, proclamation. City Council and City Manager issue encouraging statements to recognize city staff. Mr. Coffman?
Thank you, Mayor. We got a lot to be thankful for tonight. I'll try to be brief, but I do have about 4 pages of size 16 font notes here. So, first off, I'd just like to thank Keith Kendal with Enprotec Hibbs and Todd for the work that they've done to help us facilitate receiving a grant. I'd like to read a letter that I received today, funding determination letter from the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Emerging Contaminants Program. Dear Mr. Coffman, the Texas Water Development Board received your application for financial assistance for the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Emerging Contaminants Program for the project detailed below. So if you read down below, it's for the new desal plant that we need to address the growing needs of the community that was in our capital improvement plan, but also for the forever chemicals that are in Lake Granbury. And so total funding as principal forgiveness awarded, of course they've got to have a board meeting with the Water Development Board to make this final, $57,800,000. So that's a huge shot in the arm for our community. I can't thank our local engineering team enough for the work that they did on that and how we're pulling together to make it work with city staff. So just wanted to share that with you. I've talked about this in the past, but we have 6 months from the date of this letter to move forward and to fund this project, and then it's a debt forgiveness program, so we'll have to issue debt. I'm not sure how it works logistically. We'll figure it out in the coming weeks, but we have 6 months from the date of this commitment for us to make all our commitments line up with theirs. So, great news.
Yeah, it is really great news.
It's the biggest grant I've ever experienced. So, pretty excited. I want to brag about some folks. Early on the morning of May 7th, one of our city pickups was stolen. It was locked inside our yard over on Kings Plaza. 3 individuals utilized that pickup to break into Wellington State Bank ATM at 1300 block Highway 377 East. That's over in front of Aldi's. And they stole almost $13,000 in cash. Detective Zac Anderson spent hours reviewing surveillance video footage from nearby stores, reviewing the flock LPR cameras, writing search warrants for cell phone towers, and working with investigators from other agencies, including the FBI Robbery Task Force. As a result of his diligence and expertise, we were able to identify the 3 criminals, catch this, who reside in Houston area and have been traveling the United States conducting similar ATM burglaries. Thank you, Detective Anderson, for your efforts in identifying, obtaining the warrants for these 3 individuals involved in the ATM burglary in our city. Can you imagine our little department taking care of a criminal network that's moving throughout the state? Now, I'm pretty excited about that. Thank you, Zach, for doing a great job. I don't know if you're here back there, but I thought that was you. But we appreciate you. That goes to show you how much we care about what we do in Granbury. Thank you. That's a good example. Also, another one I want to brag about. This is a great story. On July 23rd, a Glen Rose resident was buying gas at Granbury HEB, and she took off her wedding ring and set it on top of the fuel pumps while she got gas. It was such a big ring, I guess it was kind of heavy. I don't know. The wedding ring was a family heirloom and belonged to her mother, who passed away from cancer. After pumping the gas, the woman drove away, forgetting her ring at the fuel pump. When she returned to the fuel pumps, the ring was gone. So Officer Jake Ruby spent hours combing through HEB surveillance video as well as a flock LPR video, and ultimately was able to contact the individual who found the ring. After being contacted by Officer Ruby, the individual turned the ring into the police department and ultimately returned to the owner. Thank you, Officer Jake Ruby, for your efforts in recovering the lost wedding ring valued at over $50,000.
Whoa.
Are you here? Not here. Jake's not here? All right. Well, thank y'all. Appreciate your work. And that's awesome. So that's page 1 of my notes. All right. Carlos got a little electric department video. Wanted to show y'all. So I don't know if it's an active video or just a picture. Okay. So at 9 p.m. on Saturday night, July 26th, this is our team replacing the blown transformer, and so that the skating rink could reopen for all the kids that are waiting to party there. So that just shows you some of the activity that goes on around the clock. Got another repair we'll talk about here in a minute. Some promotions, talk about those. Nicholas Worthen, the distribution collection foreman, and thank you, Nicholas, for jumping in and leading there. Some certifications, license, and educational achievements. Let me list those to you. Cody Martin, Parks Pesticide Applicator License. Josh Dean, Bryce Gentry, Jorge Hernandez passed their D, wastewater treatment operator exams. Those three are now certified as operators. Ryan Riggs and Jonathan Ziegler both passed their C, wastewater treatment operator exam. This classifies them as operator 1, which means they can operate the plant and the entire system. Caitlin Pioneer passed her C, surface water operating exam, and is active at the water treatment plant making pure, safe, and beneficial water for our community. Caitlin is also an A operator, wastewater operator, and she wanted to expand her horizon by getting her A license in the water side of the thing as well. So we're privileged to have these folks. Chuck, could you show the video that we talked about? This is the disaster we recently experienced, and this is some footage that Chuck put together to kind of give you an idea of what happened. We had a major break in a main line that goes underneath the highway over 100 feet. We had to I'll give you a breakdown in a minute, but this kind of shows you some of the hard work that went on in the last 10 days. This is the easy part, putting it back together.
Next.
That's flushing the system after they super chlorinated the line. Thank you. So let me just kind of give you all an idea of what happened. On-call personnel were called out to a leak that was investigated and attempted to begin repairs at 12:20 a.m. on July 27th. Once identified the ongoing investigation, we began seeking a contractor to fish out the old line from the casing under the highway. The mayor issued a disaster on Tuesday, which allowed the city to aggressively remediate the issue. Had we not issued the disaster, we would have been drawing engineer plans and having to advertise for a couple of weeks and finally receive bids and open those, and then we could award the bid. If it was under 50,000, we could have done it administratively, but I was foreseeing it was going to be a new bore and a new pipeline, so we didn't know. But the disaster was declared on July 31st. City manager issued a stage 1 voluntary water conservation plan. On August 1st, we could see that voluntary action didn't work, and we were down to dangerously low levels, below 20% capacity of our tanks were filled. So in order to keep from getting to a point where we had to issue boil notices for the entire city, city manager issued a stage 5 water conservation plan, which mandated many things, mainly no more irrigation and no more car washes. So we had to actually ask the car washes to be closed during the day. They could open 8 hours during off-peak hours of water use, but other than that, nobody could irrigate or wash down cars or boats or driveways or houses or anything with public water. Fambro Construction was contacted and began working on August 1st. And in August 2nd, we found our tanks extremely low and engaged with AMUD for an emergency water interconnect that we have, that we can ship water to them in an emergency and us back and forth. And so we began purchasing water from them for our Granbury water system. It wasn't that our plant wasn't able to make the water, it wasn't able to deliver it in time to the places it needed to be delivered. So this is not a single point of failure. We had redundancy, but the redundancy is not enough to keep the system full with the amount of volume that we have. So we were excited to get that water rolling into our system. On August 5th, Fambro Construction, along with city staff, completed the repairs, and the city staff flushed the lines for activation of the new water main. Materials and supplies were picked up in locations as far away as Houston to meet our needs as quickly as humanly possible. At 3 o'clock today, the city manager lifted the Stage 5 mandatory water conservation plan. So a huge thanks to Cameron at Fambro Construction for his willingness to pull his crews from another job in a different city to come to Granbury for our emergency. Wow. You got to think about that. I mean, he's willing to stop what he's doing, pull off the job, and come help us. And whoever that city is, we want to thank them for allowing him to come, because he's obviously under contract with them. I want to thank the mayor and the council for your encouragement and support as we work through the event. Thank you for city team, holy cow, for working nonstop on this matter until it was resolved. Let me just give you some idea of who they were. The Public Works Department, the entire Public Works Department, the Parks Department, the Police Department, the Fire Department, Finance, Purchasing and Billing, City Management. This was an interesting. County Maintenance Director Leland Larson offered any assistance necessary. Just called us up out of the blue. What can I do to help? Thank you, Leland. And last but not least, County Emergency Management Coordinator Margaret Camber provided emergency management services. Thanks to our citizens and our businesses for your patience and cooperation during this untimely event. So that's all I've got for you, folks. That's a good report of some positive action.